I don't know if it's ringing or not.
I know I can't hear it.
Hi.
Hello! Is this Bad Luck?
This is Bad Luck. What's going on? All God's Radio.
Excellent. Everybody, this is IamBaddLuck, and you're on the line with Redler and Queen Bitch, and Joker. How are you doing tonight?
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We are fabulous. I just want to let you know, Twitter's been blowing up over the last hour or so. I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh, yes. I'm so excited. Oh, my gosh. People are super pumped for this. I've been excited all day. I'm so happy to be here talking to you guys. What's up?
Excellent. Excellent. Well, first of all, I wanted to ask, where are you located?
Right now, I'm in Los Angeles, California, but if you were wondering what that area code is, that is a Massachusetts one.
That's okay. Mine's actually from Toledo, Ohio, but I'm in Texas, so I know what that's like.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm really glad this is one of those phone interviews because, and not like the FaceTime interviews because I'm sitting here with, my cat in my cat pajamas with a glass of wine and the makeup is off. So I'm super pumped to be on the phone with you guys.
I love it.
I got to give you props. I got to give you props because you're one of the few interviews we've had that you're actually drinking with us. So that's awesome.
Cheers.
Oh, amazing. Well, it's Saturday night,
That's what we say. And Friday nights and Thursday nights.
Yeah. It just depends. As long as the day ends in Y.
This is true.
So
I have to ask, is it a black cat?
Everybody asks me that. They're like, you've got to have a black cat. And unfortunately, he's black and white. But I'm not going to lie. I'm at Petco once in a while every time there's the adoption things up. And I'm always looking for a new little black cat because I think he needs a buddy. And I think it would be appropriate to have a black cat since I'm bad luck.
Exactly.
Well, get this. When I was growing up, I had 13 black cats.
No
I am not
way.
kidding. Yeah. I did.
Maybe you should be bad luck.
I know, right?
This is why we get
I think
along.
it's been following me around, though. No, I've pretty much had black cats growing up until I was in my teens, and then we had different cats. But I remember growing up, and we always having black cats.
I love them. I love them so much. Yeah, I have one cat. I have a dog. I have a fish named Kevin. He's the quiet one.
Okay, you have a what named Kevin?
A fish.
A fish. He's a beta fish.
I thought you said fish, but I wasn't sure. Well, we have a dog named Toodles, so.
Okay.
All right.
And 2 pet rats.
I have a few questions before.
My friends call me my apartment's a zoo, so it's totally fine.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a few questions myself. This is Redler. I have a few questions myself before I turn it over to Queen Bitch because one thing I wanted to point out is, when I do this King of the Hill, I usually pick out one song and I'll have her pick out another one to go up against the current champion. Well, she actually found you, and then you ended up blowing up Twitter when you won, and then we were able to land the interview, and I'm super excited because I want her to handle this, and I'm so happy that that this is all happening and coming together, and so I wanted to point that out first, and it's because I love the underdog, and when you're breaking into the business, everybody's an underdog, and
yeah.
And so for her to find you, and then for you guys to just kick ass the way you guys did in the voting was awesome. And so I wanted to point that out. And but one of the questions I have is, how many are in your band?
I'm an artist, so it's just me. But yeah, I mean that was really surprising for me too. I have a lot of support from incredible fans, especially after the song dropped. And I got the notification, and I first looked at it, and I remember seeing, I think I had 1 or 2 votes. I was at a very low percentage, and then maybe within the next 2 or 3 hours, I got the notification. It was like, you won! I was like, what is going on right now? It was so crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome because we actually usually when I have an interview, whoever is interviewed usually crushes the vote for that week. And you ended up toppling the current winner, and I was just like, wow, that doesn't usually happen, especially during an interview. And so I was super pumped. And then we reached out to Cherry Tree Records and was able to land the interview. And I'm like, oh, this is lining up perfect. And because of the holiday, I didn't have a show. And then I was like, all right, sweet, you're going to carry over a week, and then we'll still get the interview as the current champ. And this doesn't happen often where the current champ is actually interviewed. So this is an honor for us, and I love it.
Definitely an honor.
Oh, well, for me too. I'm so excited. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And we've actually had a couple of bonfires in the backyard, and a queen bitch, who is my wife, by the way, and her daughter and a couple of her friends were over, and we're sitting outside around the fire playing some cards, and this is one of the songs I pulled up, and they're like, hey, that's kind of cool. And I'm like, yeah, we found it, it's on the show.
Yeah, my daughter's 15, so.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'm super glad you guys like it.
And, I absolutely love that it gets pumped up and everything. So now I'm going to turn it over to Queen Bitch, who's got some questions for you. She actually did some research on it, so that's awesome.
Amazing. Hey, girl, go ahead.
All right, so you are called IamBaddLuck, and are you trademarking that name?
It has been trademarked.
Excellent.
Nice.
Excellent. And I love that you go by IamBaddLuck and you spell bad with 2 D's. That is just awesome.
Oh, thanks. It's kind of one of those, I ain't afraid of a curse thing.
Well, exactly. And so I kind of was searching around, and I see that you're calling your music Wicca Pop. You want to explain what you mean by Wicca Pop?
Yeah, we kind of threw the phrase around for a little bit, and it stuck with some of the blogs. And when Oath started getting press, that was one of the phrases that really stuck with the authors who were doing these write-ups on the song. And Wicca Pop kind of is just sonically the best way to describe the song, at least Oath for now, which is the only song that's out. Obviously, there are more that haven't been released yet, but the entirety of the brand and of what I stand for and what my art is kind of falls under this wake up pop thing. I'm from Massachusetts, and I grew up there, born and raised, and I remember when I first sat down to think about, what do I really want to be as an artist? What I really want to do? And I had a friend jokingly was like, what are your 2 favorite things in the world? And I was like, oh, animals, of course, and Halloween. And she was like, well, there you go. And that's kind of how it all started. But it's an authentic thing, and so authentic to me. And Wicca Pop is just the way to describe it. And when you listen to Oath, it's you can kind of feel it, it kind of it has that sonic thing. So honestly, it's hard to describe. It's more of just a thing that you can hear when you hear my music, and a combination with that and the way that I deliver my vocals and the way that they're treated, and just a combination of things.
Okay, yeah, and I love your vocals. I mean, listening to your voice it's almost hypnotic, honestly, and I think that kind of ties in with that Wicca Pop. It's such a pleasure to listen to you sing.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, do you follow any Wicca practices or anything like that? Do you follow that at all?
Not quite, but it's very interesting to me, to be honest. I'm very fascinated by it and by kind of the culture that surrounds it, for sure.
Yeah, when I was probably in my 20s, I used to work with a lady who was into Wicca, and she was telling me all kinds of stuff about it, and I was like, that's pretty awesome, So, yeah, it's definitely
really interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a different way to look at life and look at the way things interact with each other, the way the environment works with each other, and, Mother Nature and all that. So, I definitely,
sure.
yeah. Okay.
Let me ask
Okay,
something.
go ahead.
What's your drink of choice?
Oh, good one.
Ooh, that's a good question. It
Don't you
depends.
dare say Kool-Aid.
She just said she was drinking wine.
Oh, yeah, I like wine, but that wouldn't be my drink of choice. I do like a good Jameson on the rocks. I like, on kind of like the more mixed drink level, I guess, like a Moscow Mule, or I love Shirley Temples, so sometimes at the bar I'll ask them to throw a shot of vodka in it and call it a day. But yeah, I guess, I don't know, I can't really choose. But I do love Jameson, so if I go out to, to see a show or something, I'll get Jameson on the rocks. That's probably my favorite.
She's a hard drinker.
And that's my favorite kind, because, I'm definitely a whiskey girl. I don't drink too many Irish whiskeys, but I'm definitely a Kentucky bourbon or a good old whiskey kind of girl. So I understand where you're coming from. Now, what was that first drink you said?
Oh, Moscow Mule. It's like an adult ginger ale.
Oh, okay. Because I haven't seen that. I haven't heard of that one.
You've probably seen them before. You just didn't know it was Moscow Mule. They're the ones in the copper cups.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either.
Okay.
We'll go along with that. Okay. We'll go with that. Yeah, I like a good whiskey. I like a good bourbon. Lately, last couple of years, I kind of fell in love with Mike's Harder Cranberry Lemonade. It's a malt liquor, and I always say it's the closest thing to beer I'll drink. But so that's kind of my go-to drink if I'm not drinking hard. So
I actually got another one, and this is actually music related, which I don't normally ask music related questions, even though I have the interview with the band. But are you going to make a video for this song?
Oh, I was hoping you'd ask me about that. I am. We're actually in the process of pulling up a treatment for it now. My photographer, he's absolutely a visual genius. His name's Angelo Kritikos. He did all of my photos and plenty of more photos that I've yet to put out. And he also directs music videos. And so when, the song did as well as it's doing, we were like, we should probably do a video for it. And we should put something out and, put a visual to this concept. And he was the first person that, of course, I called and was just absolutely so excited to throw ideas back and forth about it. I think, honestly, he had already been starting to brainstorm about the video the second that, probably the first day that we met when we did the photos and when I played him the song. He's been so supportive and really, really helpful kind of molding this brand together and molding this whole thing. So he was obviously the person that I went to, and we even sat down, we've been sitting down to coffee like once a week the past 2 weeks, just kind of running through different ideas for it. And I think we've got something that we're really excited about, and we're filming, I think, in a week and a half.
Oh, wow.
Which is crazy soon, and I'm super excited. And it'll hopefully be out in January. We're looking for somewhere around mid-January, but that's still up in the air, depending on how things go when we film.
That is awesome. I honestly, I can't wait to see it, because I could just see this video going so many different directions, just because with the music and the lyrics and, what you want to bring forward visually. I could just see this going in so many different directions. I'd be very excited to see that.
Yeah, that was actually a problem for a little bit. We're sitting there going back and forth about 8 million different things that we could do for it, and at the end we were just like, we kind of have to pick a few of these. We can't put these on the video.
Yeah.
Kind of got to narrow it down a little bit.
We got to narrow this down. This is a music video, not Lord of the Rings 1, 2, and 3.
Though that would be fun. I don't know if you can get anybody to sit that long for a video, but hey, why not?
Exactly. Now on your Twitter profile pic, I have a couple of questions. First of all, is your hair, is that bluish or is that purple?
Oh, it's purple. It's like a silvery purple.
I was going to say it looks more silvery purple.
And then, surprisingly, for, I don't know, I want to consider you like a metal singer, because it sounds, I don't know, maybe it's not, but it's definitely good hard rock, in my opinion.
Okay.
And, but I don't see any tattoos. Do you have any?
I don't have a single tattoo, no.
That's my girl.
Redler's weird about tattoos.
I am tattoo free.
I am not.
Gotcha. Well, now that I live in, a lot of people in LA have tattoos, and every time I get asked, I say I don't have any tattoos, and they're like, "You're lying." I'm like, "Nope, I don't."
No, I have one tattoo on my ankle, and it's actually my astrological sign, and my daughter's astrological sign, and my mom's astrological sign. So
That's a good one. I like that. What's the sign?
It's my daughter and I are Geminis, and my mom's a Leo.
Lovely. I'm a Taurus.
Oh, see, my best friend is a Taurus.
They're pretty cool.
They really are. Me and her have been friends since, I don't know, we've been friends half of our lives. I mean, it's just, yeah. So I get along with Tauruses very well.
I'm actually considering getting a tattoo at the ripe old age of 42, and but of course it's going to be it's just going to be like the logo of my show, because this is my baby. I absolutely love it, and it wouldn't be where it is right now if it weren't for my wife here. We resurrected it from the dead, and since its resurrection, it's kind of blowing up, especially the band interview part. I'm getting so many requests and submissions, and I'm absolutely loving it because it gives me a chance to explore all this new music and the different avenues that we have to find the music. And so and one of those avenues is how we stumbled upon your music. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, this is good. And we want to keep going, and we want to obviously blow you up as big as possible. And because like I said before, I love the little guy. We want to make you as big as possible, as best we can.
Oh, thank you. You guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you. So here's another one. Okay, so you grew up in Massachusetts, and now you're living basically in LA, North Hollywood, and that whole crazy scene. Was there like a culture shock at all moving, to that environment?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, Massachusetts and LA are opposite in not just sides of the country. But, for me, I had grown up in Massachusetts and school in Massachusetts. I really hadn't had that, leaving home experience. When I went to college, I was really close to my parents, which was amazing. And so it's kind of later in my life, I had to have that moment that people usually have when they're 17 or 18. And I'm like, oh God, I'm such a baby. But I moved out to LA, and it was a culture shock for sure. But because, I'd lived in Massachusetts my whole life, it was really refreshing to try something new and be somewhere new. And there's just so much, everything was different here. Everything's different in LA. And from anything from, the social life to how people go out, to how people do business, to how people just little things. There's so many things about LA that I didn't really expect were going to be a thing. People out here, even just the, I guess, not personality, but the attitude out here versus in Massachusetts. It's just a general type of person out here. People, it's different, and I love it. I love both. I'm kind of a chameleon, to be honest. I find the best anywhere that I go, and I can find a home really anywhere. And I love LA so much. I love Massachusetts so much, but it's just so funny because, I go home and I feel like I'm going through one of those, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz type things, where one world to the other,
Yeah.
But
yeah, I lived actually in Arizona for 19 years, so I went out to LA and Santa Monica and San Diego quite often, and I don't know, LA's okay. I always enjoyed just going to Santa Monica and Venice Beach and just kind of hanging out there.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
I loved going to the pier, and I like to be a tourist in California, that's for sure.
All right, I got to ask a personal question. Are you tied down?
Oh, that's a good question. No.
You're not?
I'm not.
Joker, you hear that? She's single. Well, see, I gotta let as many people know that my brother. This is one of my brothers. This is my co-host. This is Joker. He's very shy, and he's a 33-year-old virgin. So I got to put him on blast every chance I can.
He does.
Put him on the spot.
Indeed.
All the time.
How old am I? Is that what you asked?
No, you said all the time.
No, but that is a good question. How old are you?
Oh, I'm 23.
Wow, she's young.
23.
Awesome.
I remember being 23.
I don't.
That was a half a lifetime ago.
Yeah. It's because we're old.
I look really young, though. People always think that I'm younger than I am. I guess I have a baby face or something. I'm going to get carded for a really long time. And my mom's always like, oh, when you're 50, you're going to be like, this is great.
Oh, you will, because I'm actually 41, and people, they routinely think I'm 35. And I'm like, awesome.
There you go.
I don't get that anymore just because I've had so many women stress me the fuck out that I look like I'm probably 80 now.
Plus, you have dark hair, and that grays really fast. And you have 3 children.
And I've been married twice.
Yeah, so have I.
So, okay, where do you see yourself in, say, 5 years?
5 years. I'd love to be. I mean, that's such a long time
All right,
away.
let's simplify it. Where do you see yourself this time next year?
Okay, I could do that. This time next year, I mean, we're hoping to start looking at, doing an opening tour, getting on the road in either spring or summer, maybe even fall of next year, 2017. But definitely starting to get up on the road and have more music out, more releases, and getting the live show ready to go. We've already started rehearsals and stuff, but I definitely would love to book a tour. Travel a little bit. Like I said, I really haven't been many places other than California and Massachusetts. And us Massachusetts people, New England people travel to New England, we vacation. It's New Hampshire, Vermont, or, up north somewhere. So I haven't gotten to really go to many places in the country. And I think it'd be really cool to do a tour and go to Arizona and Texas. I've never been to Texas. I've never been to Nashville. I've been to Florida. I've been to Disney World, so that's a good one. That counts.
Well, yeah, you got to go to Disney World.
I gotta say,
travel. I want to get on the road. I think it'd be so fun.
I gotta say, if you either tour or decide to just drive the fuck because you want to and come to Texas, please come to the Fort Worth area. We would love to meet you. That would be spectacular.
Absolutely.
Of course, you guys will be on my list of visits to make.
Yeah, she'll probably forget our names tomorrow, but that's okay. But,
stop.
We'll just tweet her and remind her.
Yeah, there's that. But there's actually someone in the chat room. She goes by the name of Pauline. She apparently has the IamBaddLuck France Twitter account, and she is a huge fan of yours, and she's in the chat room listening. And
I love Pauline.
Oh, she's freaking amazing. She was so worried about not waking up in time to be on the show, to listen to the show.
Pauline is the homie. This girl is incredible. Girl, if you're listening, thank you for all your support. You are, I can't even. You're incredible. I love you.
Aw, I'm sure she's going to love hearing that.
But she says that you look like a baby. She's the cutest.
Without the E.
Oh,
yes,
thank you. Thank you.
And she's like, she types in all caps right now. She's like, I'm freaking out. Ah! Because the good news is with this server that I have.
I'm going to make a transfer stop on one of my tours if I do a European tour. It's
Excellent.
on, girl. It's on my
Nice.
Definitely.
And she says,
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so she said she loves you too.
Aww.
Now, Joker, did you have anything you wanted to ask her?
No.
He's just listening.
I'm just listening.
No, and unfortunately, this is one of the things that Joker does. He doesn't ask a whole lot of questions during interviews, but he's always good at bringing me unique things to the show. So that's why I keep the Virgin around.
Amazing.
Uncle Buck has a question.
He's actually my IT bitch. He wants to know who is someone you look up to or as an inspiration for your music.
Ooh, that's a good question. A lot of people, but definitely, I'm trying to narrow it down. There's definitely at least like musically and artist-wise that I look up to. Probably hands down favorite artist of all time is Michael Jackson.
Wow.
Definitely him. That's probably an obvious one, but even just honestly in my experience in the music industry, even as a songwriter for other artists, when I meet other artists that sometimes I'm writing for or I'm in the writing room with, and hearing their stories and their journeys of how they went through everything that kind of I'm going through now, and how they became artists. They become inspirations for me, and then soon friends, and really really supportive in the whole thing. So definitely a few artists that I've worked with I really look up to and know kind of their path. And other than that, Lady Gaga, that's a really good one. I absolutely look up to her and her career path and everything that she's done to affect pop music and change the game. She's been
she's definitely tried to step out of the box.
Okay, maybe I was looking at it wrong, but so what genre of music would you say yours is? Was I wrong to say metal or okay? Yeah, I was way off.
No, honestly, genre is just a weird thing to me. I think that people are supposed to have a personal experience, however they listen to it, and however they think of my music is how they think of my music. It's just I try to write great songs, and whatever they fit into, whatever pocket, I really don't care.
No, you're right.
I do pop, but pop is just short for popular, which is the most people like it. So hopefully it is pop. Hopefully a lot of people like it.
Right.
There's
exactly.
Now, actually, Pauline has a question. She's like, I have a question, but I don't think it's very good. But if you could have one superpower, which one would you choose and why?
Ooh, that's such a good one. Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
Think about that one for a second.
I probably do. Okay, this is like such a 90s thing, but I don't know if you guys remember those books, the Animorph books, where they could like turn into an animal at random times and kind of like go undercover as an animal. I would totally do that.
So she'd be an animagus.
Like,
whatever
you know
word is.
what I'm talking about, the Animorphs, where they're people and then they like morph into an animal and can kind of like, like I could morph into a cat and listen around to the conversations, or not going to work for the day, skip school or something.
No, that'd be cool. No, that'd be really cool. That'd be really cool.
I'd do that. It would be cool to fly, not going to lie. I'm not afraid of heights, so that would be a good one too. But
Unlike
I don't know,
Riddler.
it's kind of not super useful. I feel like I'd get bored of it after a little bit.
Yeah, but you could just figure out different things you could do with it, Be more creative or something.
Hold on, we should probably ask her a music-related question.
Oh, we're going to do that?
Well, we probably should. I don't know.
We've asked some.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh,
You asked about the music video and her
that's right.
inspirations.
That wasn't on purpose, though.
Well, it doesn't matter. It happened.
Let's see. Now, do you have, like, when you recorded the song, did you have, like, the same group of people, recording the music with you, or did it, like, rotate? Did you have different people one time, and did it change, or was it just the same group? Or do you plan, like, if you go on tour, do you plan on having the same group of people that helped you record this single?
It changes a lot, and how I kind of got my start in the industry was writing for other people. So for a while, I had been writing all these songs, and to be honest, the song that I released, when I first wrote it, it wasn't really intentionally to be for me at all. It was just a song that we wrote that day, and we loved, and our teams all reacted really positively to it. And, for a minute, we thought it was going to be on the Britney album, and it didn't end up making it, but, her A&R was really excited about it. So we had no intention when we wrote Oath for that to be me. It just was me because it's just the way that, I kind of write stuff. But I wrote it with some homies, and the producer, Rob Prasad, is signed to Prescription Songs, and he and I had done, I think maybe like 2 or 3 other songs, but that was definitely the strongest one. And then a really good friend of mine, Michelle Buzz, an incredible writer I wrote with. Also, they had a co-writer on Oath. And like I said, we didn't write it for me at all. We wrote it because we were all in a really great mood that day, and just wrote something that we kind of were feeling. Rob had this incredible intro, which is what you hear on Oath now, and he played it, and immediately I was just, that's the one we're going to work on today. And we did, and kind of sat around for a minute while we thought it was going to be on Britney. And then, things happen, things don't, and this industry is really fickle, and, you never know what's really going to go through and what's not. And in the end, I was like, well, you know what? There was another artist, I can't remember her name, there's another artist who, I believe she was like Beyonce or something, and she was going to put it out, or cut it, or whatever. And so we had a lot of interest in the song, and we knew it was a special song. And in the end, after I had signed to Cherry Tree, we talked about putting something out for the project, and this just so happened to be the one that we felt was going to be the best first step to make and to introduce, what we were trying to do with it. But other than that, the other songs that I've done for my artist project, a few have consistent writers. There's one incredible writer that I work with a lot, Charlie Snyder, and he's on a bunch of the songs. But for the most part, a lot of them kind of switched up. Different producers here, different producers there, a different co-writer this day. Like I said, when you're writing for other people and you build up a catalog of all these songs, and then you decide to do an artist project, some of those songs can be used, and for the most part, they weren't intentionally ever for the artist in the beginning. And there was one that was a piano demo. It was just piano and my voice over it, and we always knew it was a really great song. And finally, when I decided I wanted to start putting records out, we were like, let's get this produced. And I grabbed a producer from another song that I'm using, and he produced that one. And so I guess there is definitely a small circle of people that, for at least my artist project, I work with. But it's always just, that song wins. And if I write something in a different session, it just doesn't matter to me. It's what song's the best and best represents what I want to do and what I want to say.
Excellent. Now, so how many instruments do you play, or do you play any instruments?
I'm a pianist. That's how I even started in music. I was never a singer. I was always just a pianist.
Is there any particular song you enjoy playing more on the piano?
I was trained classically when I was younger, and when I went to college, I started learning a concerto. It's called the Rack 3, and it's by a composer named Rachmaninoff. And I got through a little. Yeah, he's a really good classical composer, and this piece is kind of a pardon my French, but a bitch. It's like the worst to learn. And I was kind of hacking away at it and starting to learn it, and it's super fun to play because it's really, really fast and really crazy, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I love that piece so much. But in the midst of me trying to learn this piece for piano, that's kind of when I stumbled into singing and pop music and kind of steered in that direction. But yeah, I learned piano and played piano for years.
All right, stupid question. Is like one of the very first things you learn is chopsticks?
Maybe Heart and Soul, or
that
one where people take their whole hand and do that thing.
Yeah, see, I'm not sure I know that, but that's okay.
Maybe I think I remember learning the Rugrats theme song. Really
wow! On the piano?
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what I'm talking about. That thing.
Yep. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but we don't ask a whole lot of traditional music questions. And I actually have a reason for that. The reason I like to be off the beaten path and ask you all these oddball questions is because I want people, everybody, the people who love your music are going to love your music. It doesn't matter what you do to get to that music. I want people to love your character and your personality outside of the music. I want them, so they feel more connected to you. And that's why I ask some of the things that I do. But every once in a while, like I said, I throw a musical question in there. And yes. I try to make it as enjoyable as possible because, I know so many other people are bound by like FCC rules and shit like that. But, obviously with internet radio, they haven't, beaten us down yet for those rules. And so we're free to ask and say whatever we want. And that's the freedom that I love. And that's why it kind of throws some interviews off base. And, but I think it's very fun because it shows the real you and not just the okay, I'm going to talk about my music and the videos and my co-writers and all this. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's fine, but to get to know the real you is even better.
Oh, well, I'm glad, and I love these questions. This is great. This is so much fun. It's more fun than the usual generic questions that I get.
Yeah, we try not to be too generic.
But that's why this is Hellcast. I mean, and honestly, when you see the name, you're probably thinking, "Oh gosh, a devil worshiper," because I've had that question many times.
Oh, really?
But no,
I didn't think that at all.
Oh, really? Well, that's good. That's awesome. That's awesome. Because my last name is Helly, Helle, and it honestly, the show started off. Yeah, I know it is. But it honestly started off as just a podcast. And so, I sliced off the E and just made it. And I was like, all right, this sounds like good stuff. And I actually have friends from high school that won't listen to the show or won't be associated with me because of the name of my show. It says Hell in it. And I'm like, really? That's my last name.
That's your last name.
So, yeah, that part's kind of funky, but it's really awesome, and I've actually gotten a lot of respect from artists, and I think that's amazing. I'm actually going to see a couple of people in concert over the next few months, and then interview them, and that's going to be awesome, which I have yet to do in person. But I've talked to many bands. I love it. This is my favorite part of the show. Is talking to the bands and getting to know you and the music. And one thing I was going to ask is, how many songs do you plan on releasing for your EP?
We're still kind of in the process of figuring out, when our path for the next 6 months. I think everybody always thinks that it's this very long planned thing, but everybody does it differently, and the way that being an artist works is by putting something out, seeing how it reacts, and working off of that. It's a very as meticulous as you want to be or calculated as you want to be. It's still kind of an open game. It's still one of those play it by ear, see how do people react to this. Oh, they don't like it. Okay, well, let's change. Let's do something different. How does this work? Do people respond to this? Does this resonate with people? And it's very much a balance of figuring out what's working and what's not, and doing it by trial and error. So, and even in terms of an EP, we're going to put we put out Oath, and we're planning on putting out a music video, and we have a second single lined up, which we're really excited about. But you never know, especially with, talking to labels and stuff like that, you never know if things, might take a turn, and we have to kind of just go with the flow. So, right. I mean, in terms of an EP, I have a lot of songs that I would love to have on that EP, but it would probably be a 4 or 5 song EP, most likely 5, because I like odd numbers.
Nice.
5 is my favorite number too. I'm not kidding. It really is.
Well, 9's my favorite number, but I like odd numbers, so I don't really like even numbers.
My favorite is an odd number too.
That's because you're odd.
It's on the back of my shirt.
13.
13. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I do love 13. I love 13.
That's excellent.
Um,
Do you have anything else
yeah,
before
I
we cut her
do.
loose?
I do. What's your favorite place to go in the LA area or in California in general? Like, do you have like a favorite spot? Huh?
I said I have a lot of places. You mean like to go out or to eat or?
Whatever. Your favorite place? Like, you know what? I need to go somewhere. I need to be out in public. I just need to go out and hang with people. What's your favorite place? What's your go-to place for that?
What floats your non-tattooed boat?
I growing up, I never ate fish. I never had anything really, like, we didn't do seafood that much, which is funny because people are always like, didn't you live in
I know,
Boston?
you're in Massachusetts. How do you not have seafood?
Exactly, but we never really had seafood. And then when I got into college, I tried sushi for the first time, and I kind of became really obsessed with sushi. So now that I live in California, I could totally appreciate West Coast sushi. And there's a spot out here called Sugarfish, and it's like a classic LA sushi spot. And I swear I could have it 3 times a day. It is so good, and I go there. I mean, it's so good. It's a little expensive, so it's one of those like, oh, it's a birthday thing, or we're celebrating or something. Because it's a little pricey. It's not something you can do 3 times a day. But I love Sugarfish. That's kind of one of my spots. But it's a dinner spot, so it's not somewhere where I really go to like hang out with people. But that there's a few places I love. There's one bar called Good Times with Baby Wings, and it's this dope like 60s themed bar. And
awesome.
You have to walk through a secret passage, and you have to walk through a refrigerator to get into the bar.
Oh, that is too awesome.
And it's really, really cool. And it's the music they play. They play like Jackson 5. They play, oldies, really, really fun dance music. So it's just refreshing. It's really refreshing to go there. And in the back, they have an outdoor area, and you feel like you're at a house party. And they have I don't even know what's it called. Not a truck, an RV. They have an RV in the back, and it's a bar, and they serve alcoholic snow cones. And they
alcoholic snow cones, sign me up.
I know.
We need to go to California and go to this place. It sounds like fun.
Often.
I understand. I do. I really do.
All right, excellent. We're currently talking to IamBaddLuck. She is our current King of the Hill winner, and we have one more question for you. But before we ask you that question, we have 2 comments from the chat room. Pauline says, "I can't wait for her to come to France. I will cook her some French products. Haha! Of course, you guys can come too.
We have to get our passports first.
Exactly." And then Uncle Buck says, she can float my boat. LOL.
Oh, Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck's a good guy. He really is. But we have one more question, and that is from the Queen. Are you ready?
Oh, yes.
Ready.
Hold on. Okay. So I saw some pictures of you. You looked like you were on a red carpet and at a movie premiere. I think it was last year. What movie was that?
Ooh, movie premiere. There's a few. Is it on my Instagram?
I don't recall. Honestly, I don't recall where I saw it. I remember seeing you on the red carpet and you're like at a movie premiere, but I can never figure out what movie it was.
She might have been drinking.
It's entirely possible.
I probably was. It probably was. There's a few. I have a few pictures on the red carpet out on social media. One's at there's a few Grammy parties. Maybe it was the BMI Pop Awards. There's like a camera in the pictures. It might have looked like that.
Okay.
The other one that it might be, I went to a movie premiere for the Donostians. They are a band, and they kind of like they're a rock band, like a 5 Seconds of Summer type feel, and they're Australian. And I was invited because they did a video. They did a kind of a short film thing, and they released it.
Oh, okay.
And they did the YouTube videos for a really long time, and kind of like the Jackass videos. That was them. and
Oh, okay.
they got really, really popular, and they did a movie, and so I went to their premiere, and it was really
Nice.
fun with my friend Kiana.
Excellent.
Cool.
Excellent. Well, I wanted to let you know this last week's voting, there was you, and then there was Vertical Coffins, who we interviewed last week.
Those
and
are
then,
cool guys.
Yeah, they are pretty cool guys. They really put us on edge because they were like, they didn't want to talk about a lot of different things because they didn't want to offend anybody. And that's all cool and everything, but it kind of threw me off, which usually never happens. But then they ended up calling back later in the show and were super cool with us. And then the third participant was Medin again. I'm not sure if I said that right. I probably slaughtered it. But
Probably.
there are three ways to vote for King of the Hill, and one is in the chat room on the show. One is on Twitter, and then there's one on Facebook. And there was a total of 111 votes last week, and with 57% of the vote, IamBaddLuck is our 2-time King of the Hill champ now.
Yay!
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you.
So I wanted to let you know that live, because
amazing.
you've been an awesome interview tonight, and
Oh,
we don't
we
want
love
to take
having
up your entire night because we could probably talk your ear off about anything and everything.
We like to talk.
Oh,
That's why we have an
totally
internet
fine.
radio show.
Netflix can wait.
Excellent. No, honestly, I mean, it doesn't happen often either. Is the interview actually sticks around in the chat room and hangs out? If you feel so obliged, that would be awesome.
Obliged? Where'd you pull that
I
one
would
out?
love that.
Mickey-
Can you tell me how I can do that?
Yes, just type into your browser Hellcast HELLCAST.TK, and then when you pull that up, you're going to see some tabs on the top right. It'll say Welcome Chat News. You hit the chat one, and then just type in any name you want, and then you'll be in the chat room with us.
Yeah.
Dope. I'm so excited. I'll stick around for a little bit and chat.
Awesome.
Excellent.
We love
Because
it.
right now, what we're going to do is, since we've had the interview, now we're going to do our
We play
Miller
games.
High Life King of the Hill, which is where we play the 3 songs, you being the current champion for the second week in a row. During these 3 songs, we also play our Mad Lib of the week. You remember Mad Libs, right?
Of
Do you know what
course.
Mad Libs are? Okay.
Yes, everybody loves some Mad Libs. Well, we play some Mad Libs here, and it gets very dirty, is a good word.
Or weird.
Yeah, there's that too.
Wonderful. Okay.
But we encourage everybody to participate and have fun with that, and so we're going to go ahead and do that. And everybody, thank you so much, Bad Luck, for joining us tonight.
Love talking with you.
Of
Absolutely
course.
loved
Thank
it.
you guys for having me. You guys are so dope.
Oh, I love
And
it.
I would like you to do one thing for me, though. Could you possibly say, I am Bad Luck, and you're listening to Hellcast Radio?
No.
I love
Of
it.
course.
Denied!
Denied.
This is I Am Bad Luck, and you are listening to Hellcast Radio.
Perfect! Thank you.
Excellent.
Now I can clip that shit and put it all over my station.
Amazing.
All right, so-
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you very soon.
All right.
Have a great
bye-bye.
night.
Bye.
Bye.